Going back to the scene in New York, because I've heard like the Strokes talk when they get asked about meeting in the bathroom book. They kind of say it's a bit of a myth that there was a scene or community of bands, but they're saying there definitely was one, like in and around DFA and the Plant Bar and stuff.
That was only for the Strokes. The thing that made the Strokes really interesting, like everyone wanted to hate the Strokes because the Strokes were like rich kids who basically went to England and signed a rough trade, and we were like, fuck you guys, like we couldn't buy our own plane ticket, you know. And they also were the only band that didn't know everybody. Like I was listed off all those other bands a minute ago, but we all knew each other and nobody knew the Strokes. And I remember there was this fashion guy who I used to have a party at Plant Bar on Monday nights, and there was these fashion guys that would hang out there with like Chloe Sevigny and whoever, like New York hipster people, and the people from the movie Kids and all this stuff. And I remember Julian Casablancas came to my party to fight. He just showed up one time, like really drunk. And he's like, I remember talking to him and I was like, hey man. And he's like a really big dude. Like, I don't know if you ever met him, but he's like 6'4". He's like huge, you know, like, I don't know if you ever met like Jack White, but like Jack White is like a big dude. Like I remember when Jack White punched the dude in the Von Bondies or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, and then I saw Jack White and I was just like, oh my God, like if that guy fucking punched you, it would just suck, you know? But anyway, like, so Julian shows up and he's like, hey, is like so-and-so here? Cause I came here to like fight him. And we are all just like, whoa, dude, chill out, you know, cause they like hung out at this bar that was a few blocks away by themselves and they didn't talk to anybody. You know, I remember when, like the reason why the Yeah Yeah Yeahs got a record deal was because the Strokes went on Saturday Night Live, which in the US is like a really big deal. And the guitar player was wearing a Yeah Yeah Yeahs button, Albert Hammond Jr. or whatever that guy's name is. But like, and I remember watching it and being like, whoa, there's a band from New York on TV. And also they're wearing a Yeah Yeahs button. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, they're the next band that's getting signed. And of course, like they were the next band that got signed. So it was like, but yeah, it's like so weird because the Strokes were completely apart. They're, you know, they weren't friends with anybody. Like nobody knew them. Like the first time I ever like legitimately met the Strokes was at a music festival in a stadium in Japan in a backstage. That was the first time I had met them. You know what I mean? Like, and they were like headlining, or they were playing right before Radiohead in like a stadium, in like a football stadium in Japan for, you know, 30,000, like 50,000 people or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And like I had never had a conversation with them before that, and neither did anybody else except for maybe the Yeah. Like it's very strange. So like this band comes out of nowhere, they define the New York scene, and they kind of made it possible too. I remember going to the magazine store down the street from my house to buy NME, and because the Strokes were in it, and with the White Stripes, so it was like the Strokes and the White Stripes, and the White Stripes were from Detroit, so, and they were very much like knew more people, and they were more part of the DIY, you know. But the Strokes are just such like an anomaly, like such a strange story, but also like pretty good. I remember we all like wanted to hate them. We were like, fuck these guys, like, you know. I remember I was walking to work at Plant Bar one time, and they were doing a photo shoot on the way to work. I live 2 blocks away, and they were doing a photo shoot outside of what I later learned was where they recorded their first record, in front of a cause that is like a famous graffiti artist, like a cause piece. And like they were all standing, I remember walking by and just feeling hatred. I just remember, and just staring at them being like, fuck you guys, like you guys have everything that I want and I don't know you. And then, you know, kind of, you know, cut to seeing them play and their first record coming out and being like, this is like, and like my wife like really liked that record, and I was like, you're not really allowed to like that record, you're supposed to be on my side, you know what I mean, like it's not cool. Like, and then I was like, yeah, these guys are good. And then I became really grateful to them because, you know, without them a band like the Rapture would never have signed like a big record contract. So, you know, kind of completely changed for me over time.